Ghana and Nigeria like feels like they are neighboring countries, or they are one country that actually split into two.
Yeah.
So when all these things happen, and I say like, well, there was a time I was telling her, you see how Ghanaians are trolling Nigerians that they've lost their trophy and all that. The next day there could be something on the internet, and you see Ghanaian and Nigerians supporting each other against somebody else, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a marriage made in heaven, because no matter how much they have a go at each other, the love is still there. They still like connect. I have one that's, even if I'm sleeping and you knock my head, I remember Biko Kekime. Biko Kekime.
And what's the
That's the
meaning of
only.
that?
I say NTCA and then young trial, and then in everywhere I'll be like S1. But the kui akpeka.
DJ Pakore.
All right, beautiful. So I would like to throw this question to you, Senor first. What would be your advice to a Nigerian woman that is going in for a Ghanaian husband?
Nigerian woman that is going in for a Ghanaian
husband. What will be your
So
advice?
my advice really is, and it may be general, but if she's coming into a Ghanaian space, I find that Ghanaians, some Ghanaians, not everyone, some of them are a bit soft-spoken,
Yeah.
but doesn't mean that they are not like they are. How do I put it? Doesn't mean that they are not man enough.
Or they are weak.
Because you find a lot of the time, yes, some Ghanaians are soft spoken and all that, but when you are coming into the space, don't come into the space, oh, he's soft spoken, so I'm coming in to come and have a control, or like I want to be the head of the house. Like, you still should be able to allow him do that. And from a larger angle, like, it should also be, they should brace themselves for the language difference, because you are coming into a Ghanaian space where predominantly people love to speak Ghanaians. We love our local dialects. Like, let me be frank with you.
Yeah.
We love our local tree hour. So if you're coming into that space, you need to be ready to either learn the language, or like understand that a lot of people will speak this language to you from every angle, and you don't get frustrated. So you need to be ready to adapt to that. And I think one other thing as well is, when it comes to the family dynamics, you should also be ready to, the lady should be ready to understand how the family dynamics work in Ghana versus how it works in Nigeria. Especially, there are certain cultural things that might not be in Nigeria as it is in Ghana, though there are similarities, but there are some slight differences that you need to also learn and understand. For instance, in a Ghanaian community, or in a typical Ghanaian setting, we are taught that when your parents are talking of, okay, let's use ourselves as an example. If we go to a Ghanaian home to meet the elders in the family, and my wife is talking much like she's the one doing all the talking, it might be perceived like, you with your pekasao. Like, do you get what I mean? They'll feel like, oh, your wife loves to
She's
talk too much. She said,
controlling
she's controlling you and all that. So which is a bit different when you go to the Nigerian side of things. So the lady needs to understand, like, you are going into an environment where they feel the man is the figure of the home, and when you go out there, even in the setting where you need to speak to elderly people, you need to kind of acknowledge that my husband is there. He should start a conversation, But again, in a Nigerian perspective, we are one. And if we go out there, we should be able to talk, speak as one person. But, we also have the feeling that you should be able to acknowledge the man and give him that reverence, and be a bit, you are the second in command, he's the first in command, sort of. So, yeah, so the lady needs to brace herself for those cultural differences, and even the language barrier, like I initially talked about. And there's one aspect that maybe I find a bit different is uh, Ghanaian men. Again, there are different ways of showing love and all that, but a lot of the Ghanaian men they are not very expressive when it comes to showing affection or showing love, right? It's not general, but you find a lot of people. So if she's coming in, she should be able to prepare herself that, oh, maybe in Nigeria, if your husband wants to show you love, you would he will pamper you from head to toe, sweet
Yeah.
words, this, that. But you find sometimes most Ghanaian men, we the love is there, but how to express it is
Yeah.
it's a challenge. So you might feel that, oh, this guy doesn't love me or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
but you just need to take your time. She needs to take her time, learn her man, like learn your man, see how he's able to express his love. He could be silent. Sometimes he could be buying you gifts without saying anything.
Yeah.
But sometimes you want it to be more than that. Show me
More
off to
drama.
the public, like in renew, like those kind of things. But we don't find those. So those are the things I'll just say you should be able to brace yourself or like be ready to adapt to make life a bit easier for her.
Yeah. Well, Chichi, on your side, what would be your advice to a Ghanaian man who is coming for a Nigerian woman?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, three things. One is, very important, is that we are hard workers. I'm not saying to say that Ghanaians are not hard workers.
Yeah.
Our women, more especially,
Yeah.
we don't like to, the typical sit at home, take care of the kids and all that. No, we, even if we're sitting at home and not doing like 9 to 5 corporate jobs, we want to be entrepreneurial. We want to have businesses. We want to do something
Yeah.
aside being a wife, being a mom.
Yeah.
And what I find with, Ghanaian men is that, they are pretty chill, like all like the Nigerian guys, they would have a 9 to 5 and still have maybe 3 or 4 other businesses,
Yeah.
that they are running concurrently, right? And in that instance, I feel like it might come across to Ghanaian men that, oh, she's trying to be bossy, she's trying to, do too
Yeah.
much, she's trying to earn more than me. No, it's just the cultural thing where we're taught to be helpers. And in that
Yeah.
way, we're not just trying to help in the home front, but we're trying to help financially. And we never want to feel like, oh, God forbid, if our husbands are no more to be, then we're going to suffer. Our children are going to
Yeah.
suffer. So we
Yeah.
always like to do things. Even if it's my husband's business, we want to be part of it. We want to
Yeah.
support. We want to, manage it in some aspect or things
Yeah.
like that. So I think, my guidance to Ghanaian men looking to settle with Nigerian women is just brace yourself. It's not a power tussle or anything. It's really just us trying to, secure our home and our finances, and also to feel like we are contributing in one way or the other versus just being a liability, if that makes sense. Then, second thing, I feel Ghanaian men should understand, and I feel it's like the opposite of what he says, is we love that loud expression of love.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be all the time, but in some instances, it needs to be there. Like, for instance, when you're doing proposal, then you propose to me in the room or in the like, I mean, it's okay, it will fly depending on the person. But sometimes, especially during the marriage or during the relationship, just give us some loud outpour of, love, whether it's, calling me out on social media. I'm not saying it has to be this, these are just examples.
Yeah.
Or maybe showing me off to your friends or introducing me to your parents, and things like that. I think it helps kind of guarantee or secure the relationship and to get us to understand that, okay, this guy is actually serious. Because I don't talk about the Yoruba demons and, the Igbo demons and all that stuff, but, you know, it's just a way to secure that, okay, especially the fact that we're going through 7 seas to actually
Yeah.
date you. We just want to know and feel secure or assured, like, they say assurance.
Yeah.
Want to feel assured that, okay, we're, in this together. And then finally, I feel like um Ghanaian men have to, and this is just an opinion, it could be my opinion, but I feel like it's very important. It's um understand really the person that you're dating. Put the Nigeria aside. I feel like the personality is what's important, because some people even see me. I've had some comments on my platform saying, "Oh, I'm acting like a Nigerian, and he's the one acting like Ghanaian, like we switch roles and things like that." So it's really just the person. Because you might say, "Oh, you might." tag a woman, oh, she's Nigerian, therefore she's gonna do this. No, I feel like you need to kind of settle down and pay attention to the person you're actually dating. Because yes, I'm Nigerian, but who knows? I might not have been born in Nigeria, I might not have lived in Nigeria to kind of
Yeah,
understand or imbibe the culture.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, it's my personality, what I'm bringing to the table, and things like that. So I feel like don't be too into the whole Nigerian tag and things like that. Just really pay attention to the person, really love the person that you're with, and really understand the person. And I think that would really help along the line, especially in the first few years of marriage when the conflicts come. It would help you understand who you're married to.
yeah, yeah. And also, to add up to that bit, there is this mindset in there that Ghanaian men are stingy, and they don't give women a lot of money and all that. Have you guys had such experience in there?
It's so funny because this human, and back to my last point, this human right here is even kinder than I probably ever would be. He's like
Hmm.
super kind. He's the giving type. And I think it's one of the things that drew me to him. Because
Yeah,
contrary to what people are saying, he's like, and that's why I feel like people see him and they automatically start speaking Yoruba or Igbo
yeah.
to him because they think he's Nigerian. His
Hmm.
countenance, the way he behaves, he's super kind, and unfortunately, I haven't experienced, or the whole stingy thing that people are saying. But yeah, he's really kind of, that's takes me back to my last point. Is like, learn the personality versus the cultural sort of myth based on where the person is from, because
Well,
he'll shock you.
well, and there's one more thing I'm sure my viewers would also want to know about when we get to that bridge, when Ghana is facing off Nigeria in something. Could be music, it could be football, it could be jollof
Yeah.
rice and all that thing. Do you side with your husband because yeah, somebody saying Ghana jollof is better than Nigeria jollof? You go like, hey, my husband is a Ghanaian, so yes, Ghana jollof is better. Or you stand on your home grounds that Nigeria jollof A1, no one beats Nigeria jollof. When it comes to banters like that, what is your position and how do you manage these things?
Yeah. So if I go first, I want to get his perspective because it appears his perspective is a bit different from mine. So for me, honestly, I stand for the truth. Like, if Nigeria Jollof is better, then Nigeria Jollof is better. In my opinion. Again, it's always in my opinion. People might have different perspectives. However, if
But
when it comes to
ideally, hold on.
football,
Ideally, Ghana
yeah.
jollof and Nigeria jollof, which one is the best one? Since you said you want to be
Ah,
honest.
I plead the same.
No, like which one do you like?
I'll say Senegal Jollof. I like
No,
Senegal
no, no, no.
Jollof.
We don't have Senegal in the picture. It is Ghana and Nigeria.
Like which is your favorite? It's like it's not like you are saying that
Yeah,
one is better than the other. You're
yeah,
just saying like this is what I love most.
yeah.
So honestly, my favorite would, I'm so sorry to my Ghanaian fam, it has to be Nigerian Jollof for a ton of reasons. One, and not for anything else, not for taste or anything. I have to say my Nigerian. Why? Because I find that the Ghanaian Jollof is a bit harder in terms of texture when you want to chew. Like, for me, I just like to, I don't want to chew so much. I just want to chew and then swallow and enjoy my food. But when it comes to Nigerian jollof, we make it as soft and edible as possible. Like, just being honest, being frank. And then he can attest to that. So oftentimes when I'm eating Ghanaian jollof, I always have to add maybe a sauce or shito stew or something to it just to like make it a little sort of saucy or something to be able to eat. And that's really just it. And of course, the spice, like with us, we add extra pepper. My husband is not really so big on pepper. Like, we add plenty pepper. So, that's kind of what I'm kind of missing out from the Ghanaian one. Although I eat both and I love both and I have my moments. Today I can feel like, oh, I want to eat Ghanaian jollof. And then tomorrow I feel like I want to eat Nigerian jollof. But if I have to choose, no bias here, it has to be my Nigerian
And so,
jollof.
Saya, throwing the same question to you, would you also say that, yeah, you love your wife, so you love Nigeria jollof? You're just being honest. Which
Oh,
one is
for me,
your
she
favorite?
she knows the obvious, right? So, and back to the question you asked earlier about the food thing, right?
Yeah.
So, anything I struggle to eat more of the Nigerian rice recipe because of the the type of rice they use.
Yeah.
So I grew up like I'm used to the basmati type of rice,
Yeah.
regardless of wherever I go. But I noticed
Basmati as well.
no,
Depends on the way you try it.
no, the Nigerian rice dishes are majorly their local rice. I don't know what the name is, but the grains are a bit bigger and all. So I don't like it's something I naturally don't like. Even if you cook it the Ghanaian jollof way and you use that rice, I'm not going like it's not my cup of tea.
No way.
So I go for my Ghanaian because of the grain, the texture of the grain. Like that's how I love my rice. So definitely I'll go for that. When it comes to football, and I think we spoke about this some time past. If Nigeria is playing against any team, I've always even supported Nigeria against any team before we even got married. But if it's Nigeria against Ghana, I love my Black Stars. I'm on Black Stars. But
And what about you, Chichi?
yeah, so I
Oh, for me is may the best team win though. Because
yeah.
honestly, when I watch football, I legit have heart attack, like high BP, like really heart attack. So I don't want stress. For me, it's like a win-win. If Ghana wins, oh perfect, we celebrate. If Nigeria wins, even more perfect. So it's like
But then, how
for
do
me
you
at that
take the
point, it's let the
trolls?
best
How
team
do you
win.
take the trolls from Ghanaians, especially when Nigeria lost at Ivory Coast? You saw Ghanaians trolling them. Did you receive any trolls
Oh
from your
yeah.
husband, or he was, pampering you, telling you not to cry?
I mean, honestly, he typically will pamper me, but sometimes he'll throw in some mini jabs and I'll be like, Nigeria should have won this thing now. Nigeria should have easily won this thing now. Why did they win it? And so it just banters for us. It's like, okay, well, next time we'll win, that kind of stuff. So we have those banters, and yeah, sometimes he will yab me, but then he'll pamper me. I remember that day we lost. Did he make you made me parfait? He made me parfait, and I was like, "Is this compensation?" Okay. so, so yeah, he mixes both. He would attack me in a little way, and then he would be nice in some other ways as well. But I remember the one against South Africa. That one was so like emotional for us. Like we had to win by every means
Yeah, man.
necessary,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad we did. And then we all celebrated at the end of the day.
So for me, like during the AFCON, the South Africa game, I supported Nigeria 100%. And when they got to the final, so for me, one thing about me as well is there are certain players that make me love certain countries when it comes to football. So during the Ivorian match, there were times I won Nigerian, but there were times where I was tuned to certain players who were playing very nice, and I'm like, this guy he played very well. Look at the game here, and she's like, so are you on our side or you are on their side? And I'm like, oh, I want you to win, but. So we do have those moments, and for me, like I'm low key the guy that I will I'll make fun of you. I'll tease you that you can even cry. I'm so good at that. So I support when Nigeria is playing, but if they are out, I'll still give you the backlash because yeah, your guys should have they ate a buy and went to throw the cup away. I'll still give you those, but at the end of the day, I always remember that I'm Nigerian as well. So
And for the trolls, back to your question, for us is we just ignore.
yeah.
And sometimes we use it actually to even make banter at home. I think there was one comment actually that was like, "Oh, your husband looks like hush puppy," or they were even saying, "No, what was the other one they said?" It's like, "Oh, so in all this Afghan football, you still went to go and marry a guy. In all these fights that you're fighting, you went to go and marry a guy." It's so funny. Like when I read those comments, I just laugh and I'll read it out to him and then we'll laugh and stuff So sometimes it's like it actually brings some of the fun and excitement to our home. But then those really, really nasty ones, my husband would be like, let's read and pass, Jerry. There's always those nasty ones. So we just brace ourselves for it.
And I always say this, like, despite the fights here and there or the trolls here and there, Ghana and Nigeria like feels like they are neighboring countries, or they are one country that actually split into two. So when all these things happen, and I say like, well, there was a time I was telling her, you see how Ghanaians are trolling Nigerians that they've lost their trophy and all that. The next day there could be something on the internet, and you see Ghanaian and Nigerians supporting each other
Oh
against
yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a marriage made in heaven,
Oh
because
yeah.
no matter how much they have a go at each other, the love is still there. They
Oh
still
yeah.
like connect. They still get.
Sure.
So we
Sure.
see a lot of those things, and we look beyond it. Like
Yeah.
we look at the bigger picture and look
Yeah.
beyond it and be like, well, some
Yeah.
people, you find that some people are actually very bitter when you see certain comments
Yeah.
and all those things about Ghana, or vice versa, from the Ghanaian side to the Nigerian side. And sometimes I just tell my wife, like, it's because they haven't really
Yeah.
experienced Nigerians, or
Exactly.
this one haven't really experienced
Exactly.
Ghanaians. And there are certain percent, or like things that growing up we were told about Nigerians, and same for Ghana as well. We watch all these Karishika movie and all these last burial and
Rituals
things, and the
and
mindset, the perception is that, in fact, when I was going to marry from Nigeria, and I was telling people, like, they asked me, "Oh, I'm getting married," and they said, "Oh, where's your wife from?" I said, "She's from Nigeria." They said, "Eh?" I'm like, "What do you mean by A?" They said, "Hey, those place, you kill your." So those kind of comments,
yeah.
like, that's what they see on social media, and
Yeah.
they live by that and believe that, oh, Nigerians is juju all the way. If you go, you are a dead man. Some of them will tell you, your first son, they will use your child for sacrifice. So,
Yeah.
all these things they see in the movie, people feel that is their reality, but they keep forgetting that it's somebody trying to make money, somebody doing their business there,
Yeah.
promoting the movies and all that. And it's the same for Ghana as well. I'm from the Volta region, and when she was coming in fact, she almost ran away. She almost didn't come. She almost didn't marry, because when she got to the airport, the time we're going to marry, oh, like during the marriage, some people were telling her certain things about airways, and they were like, "If you know what is good for you,
Run.
Run.
run. This don't even go to that place. You just take the next flight and leave." So these are things like people see out there, and they feel, oh, it is what it is, and they live
Yeah.
by those things they see in the movie or on social media. But we tend to look beyond that and
And
sort
that's
of
beautiful.
see the genuineness in the relationship between the
That's
two and
beautiful.
all that.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. And I'm really, really, happy for you guys. I mean, the first time I saw your video, I was like, wow, this is really, really beautiful. And I wish people, could, emulate this. I mean, when Moses got married to Maria, people were saying, and then there are a lot of Nigerian girls he left her, but we were forgotten that Becca was a musician here in Ghana, but got the husband from Nigeria. You understand? And so to me, I was
Exactly.
telling
Yeah.
people that this is draw. You came for our sister, we came for your sister, and it's the same thing. It
Yeah.
ends there. And a lot of things have been painted black, negative, and especially in these times that you can actually monetize lies and make money out of it. People will go all out and
Oh,
say
yeah.
a whole. I mean,
Yeah.
growing up per se, personally, a lot of discussions that they made about Nigerians made us feel that Nigerians eat human beings. Those
Yeah.
pictures were painted when we were growing up. You understand? And so it was such an awful experience. But growing up to learn and to associate myself with a lot of Nigerians, I realized they are beautiful people, especially
Oh,
when it
yeah.
comes to kind people. A Nigerian need not to know you so much. I'll be very honest with you. Based on what I do on this platform, when immediately Nigeria got to the finals, one of the viewers decided to, raise funds and campaign, and they said, DJ, you must be in Ivory Coast to support Nigeria for us. As if I was the one that was
Wow.
going to play the football. Within just a space of 2 days, they started sending in fans, even though I couldn't
Yeah.
go by air because my camera guy didn't have his passport at the moment, but they forced me that I have to go by road. So we went by road
Yeah.
from
That's
Ghana to
amazing.
Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire to support
To Cote
Nigeria.
d'Ivoire.
And you can imagine me
That's
sitting
great.
in the midst of Ivorians, and then Nigeria scored the first goal. I didn't know what to do. I can't celebrate because I'm in the midst of Ivorians. And then
Yeah.
they later came back and, they beat Nigeria and my brother. Meanwhile, these people had spotted me to be a Nigerian. Immediately they
Yeah.
saw me. They knew that I was a Nigerian, but I was in their midst. So just imagine if Nigeria won. And it,
Oh yeah.
it's so sad for us. We lost it. The songs they were singing. I thought these guys could not speak either Igbo, English, or Tree. They were singing this song. Yeah, yeah, oh. There is this sad song in the Nigeria soundtracks. Like I don't
That's
know
a
if you know
good
that
one.
song. Yeah, yeah, oh. And we were in a bus going. Still, these people came to the bars and they were singing, and you could see few Nigerians in the bars. For the first time, I saw Nigerians who were quiet. They never reacted to any of the throws physically. And these are all beautiful stuff that we share as an African. So thank you guys so much for sharing your experience, and I'm sure a lot of people will learn from this and will know that regardless what people say. Yesterday, I did a content on a pastor from Nigeria who was upset because Pastor Jerry from Nigeria came to Ghana and he had almost about 60,000 people going for the prayer conference. I mean, we are all worshiping one God. You understand? So if your fellow pastor came from Nigeria, there are a lot of people, praying with him. What's the big deal about that? If money is not your goal, then you shouldn't be upset about that. And most of these people don't make proper research. In the past, we have Ghanaian pastors like Doug Heward Mills who had this Healing Jesus crusade. He went to Nigeria, did almost about 4 or 5 days crusade, and it was filled to capacity, even in those days. Menso Tabel and Duncan Williams, they have huge followings from Nigeria. Ideally, there are Ghanaians who will be so much into Nigerians, and there are Nigerians who will also be so much into Ghanaians. And so when you find somebody on the other side, I don't think you should, be so much hurt or you should think that that person is a sellout. No. I mean, there are times that personally, Senor, you feel so much Nigerian. And there are times that Chichi will also feel so Ghanaian. You understand? But that doesn't take the fact that you are not patriotic. You understand? So I'm really, 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 really grateful for this enlightenment you've given to the youth out there. Maybe frequently we'll be, talking to educate people that there is nothing better in hate. It is good to love.
Absolutely.
You guys have been out there. Yeah, in every marriage there will be fight, but the fight is not because you were Ghanaian or you were Nigerian. It is just because you are husband and wife, and then there are ways to settle. I mean, a friend of mine would tell me that when a Nigerian woman comes to Ghana, she will learn how to prepare food. But when a Nigerian woman comes to Ghana, when it comes to sex, they won't teach them because it's a general topic. There's no way that a Ghanaian have sex and there's no way a Nigerian have sex. You don't need any education. Once you meet, you know how the flow goes. And I mean, we are living beautifully. So guys, thank you. I don't know if you have some last words you would want to share with people who, enjoyed this particular episode.
Yeah. So thanks for having us. So for me, I think my what I wanted to say is that I remember when I went to get married in Nigeria, people were like, so you left Ghana, you passed Togo, you passed Benin, and then you went all the way to Nigeria to go and get married. You couldn't find a woman in Ghana and all that. So I feel like sometimes you just need to look beyond like those barriers. Like it just it's just countries that came like drew lines to separate one country from the other, right? And the most important thing is like knowing the personality you want to be with, knowing like who it is that you want to share the journey of your life with. And to your point, like you mentioned something about patriotism and they said Ghanaians not supporting Nigerians or no. I think in general you support what is good, you support what is worth supporting, right? So if I feel that even on the music front, on the football front, whatever it is, I feel that this person, and it's even beyond just Ghana and Nigeria, even within Ghana, like you will see a Northerner, you see an Ashanti, you see if the person is if they are doing a good job, have an open mind and support the cause. Like that is what is most important. We need to just look beyond the idea of, oh, he's a Ghanaian, she's a Nigerian, he's a this, he's a that. There's always something to learn from each other. Like, and I feel there's a lot we can learn from Nigerians. There's a lot they can also learn from us, and that's how we complement each other, and that's how we are always in each other's space and all that. So, love will always lead, and let's be sure that we go for what makes sense, what we are comfortable with, what we and in the context of love, I always say that go with what you feel that there'll be, like, we had barriers culturally and all that, but
Yeah.
I told myself these barriers are things I can be able to deal with. I can be able to learn from those that you can't learn from it. You can be able to cope with it. Is it better than marrying a Ghanaian who would come and turn my house upside down, set my house on fire, and cause chaos everywhere?
No.
It doesn't mean that marrying a Ghanaian would make your love or your marriage beautiful. It's
Yeah.
about the personality, and you go for what will work for you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Chichi,
Absolutely.
you
First
got
off,
something to
again,
say?
just to re-echo his thoughts, I just want to say thank you for having us. It's such an honor to be on your channel and to get
Sure.
to speak with you.
Yeah.
And I want to, this is to ladies and, single ladies, single men, is make sure you take that trip. Make sure you go to that place that you want to go to, because you never know, especially those who are actively looking to settle down. Is, if your mind tells you to go, just go. Get up and go. You just never know where and how you would meet that person. Secondly, I think reechoing what he said as well is really about the person. um at the end of the day, in the marriage now, we rarely even remember that, oh, he's like, he's Ghanaian, oh, I'm Nigerian. No, we rarely even remember that.
Yeah.
It really boils down to the person you're marrying. And, just don't fall short of your standards just so you can please community or society. At the end of the day, it's who wears the shoes that understands where it hurts. So make sure you're following your heart. If you need to cross seven seas to find the person that makes sense for you to spend the rest of your life with, go for it. There's happiness, find that happiness in everything, and just have fun. Like, marriage doesn't have to be serious and
Yeah.
to know his but like, have fun, really make
Marry
sure
your
you're
friend.
having a
Marry your best
blast.
friend. You know.
Exactly, and do all the adventurous things,
Sure.
and just be happy.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And then
Yeah.
there is a particular episode that maybe later on, maybe another time if you have time, we'll take your marriage customary, like you focus when you were getting married, some of the things that
Mhm.
people do. And he's a Ghanaian, he's not used to that. I mean, when we watch movies, we see you, the Igbo ladies, they will go and they will kneel, they will serve their husband palm wine.
Oh yeah.
We'll ask him whether they gave him palm wine, because here we know they give husband palm wine for here. You understand? So, we'll go through that journey for people to know that experience and all that.
For sure.
But the beauty here is
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
you guys are happy, and I'm really, really happy for you. I pray that God blesses this reunion. Anything that comes out of it will be full
Amen.
of love and fruitful. But two questions before you go.
Amen.
If
Sure.
you leave this world and you come back again, would you still marry a Ghanaian?
Absolutely, 100% yes. I'm not just Ghanaian, like I mentioned. I will marry this man
Say,
over and
and
over
over
again.
again. That's beautiful.
I was
That's
telling him,
beautiful.
what was the other day? I was asking him, I don't know, he did something. Oh, yeah, he bought me something that I've always wanted and
Yeah.
never even talked about, but somehow he just got it. And I was just so grateful. I was like, I'll find you in next life, wherever you are, even if you become
Ah,
French, I'll find you and marry you
yeah,
again.
yeah, that's
So,
beautiful.
absolutely, yes, without hesitation.
And the last question, where would you want to have your dream home? Nigeria or Ghana?
Ghana 100%. Sorry to my Nigerian fan,
Why?
but Ghana. Like, so, the
Uh-huh.
truth about this is, and those who know me would know, I've always loved Ghana prior to even knowing or even thinking that I would marry a Ghanaian. I've been to Ghana one too many times way before I met him. In fact, Ghana is serene for me. It felt like home. And I was like, in fact, when I was marrying him, I kept thinking to myself, God, you know what you were doing? No wonder. Because there was this kind of peace and serenity I always felt whenever I came to Ghana. In fact, when I'm stressed back at home, I take a flight, spend a weekend in Ghana, and it's just bliss. I'm rejuvenated when I go back. So if you ask him, like even all the Ghanaian songs, I can sing it from start to finish, like everything Ghana. So way before even prior to even marrying him and all that. So definitely Ghana would be it for me.
Do you have any
And
Ghanaian
you
name? Has he given you
see,
any Ghanaian name yet?
Oh, two. I have to. In fact, when we were engaged before we got married, I was Ohima, and then a couple years later, I'm now Yaira. So I answer both Ohima and Yaira.
Then I'm going to add one. I'm
so
going
you're
to
going
give
to
him
see
one. I'm going to give him one. You add it. Add Obapa to it, and he will explain that to you.
Papa.
Do
No
you mind?
problem.
Do you mind explaining it to her, Obapa?
Bapa is like a virtuous woman. Let me put it
Yes.
that way. A
Yes.
virtuous woman.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So that's your
A
new
virtuous
title,
woman.
Obapa.
Thank you.
I still remember my tree very well.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. So, guys, thank you so much. This is what
Oh,
we're going to
thanks
do
so
on the
much for
very
having
soon.
us.
We'll definitely do that again on the marriage journey and all that. Thank you so much. But I would
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
like you to share your channel so that people can also follow you both on TikTok and YouTube as well to take some notes and
Sure.
lessons from you.
On YouTube, it's Daily Living with Chi. TikTok is Chi Calling. Instagram also Daily Living with Chi. Do well to subscribe. Do well to follow us, and yeah, we'll continue bringing you
Sure,
premium
sure,
content
Yeah.
sure,
for
sure,
sure.
sure,
We have a lot on the channel for everybody, like to
sure.
learn more about us, our journey, and even what we do. Like we love to go on road trips, so we share a lot of our experiences. We were in Ghana very recently, and
Yeah,
even we shared that experience of being in Ghana, coming back home after some time. So Ghana is home. Is
yeah.
is here,
I'm
so
actually
would
waiting for
always
your
want
next
to.
visit in Ghana. I would like to meet you guys in person so that we have more.
Oh,
Oh, that would be great.
sorry. Oh,
So anytime you're coming home, just let me know. I will
for
definitely
sure.
meet you. All right. So we are
Absolutely.
going now. This is the last thing we're going to do. Chichi, I want you to say something in Ghanaian language. Then you also say something in Nigerian language. Then we'll wrap it up.
Thank you. So what do we say? There's so much to
No,
say.
anything random, like
Okay.
to show that you even know the language.
So should I
Yeah.
do tree or ever?
Anyone.
Chi or
Anyone?
ewe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do both.
Yeah, you can do both.
Any.
Okay. All right. So in Ghana, I'll be like, it's Nyami.
Eh,
You answer now. Oh, should I answer?
no, do you want me to answer her?
Yeah, you
Or
can
should
Or
just
she
say
should
you,
just
something?
you
say,
can give it to the viewers or you can give it to your husband. Anyhow that makes you
Oh,
oh,
comfortable.
okay.
okay. So I'll say NTCA and then Yami Trial. And then in ever, I'll be like F1. Medekue Akpekaka.
And then Ibokwedu, what are you
So
going
for
to
me,
say?
that is the thing though. I have one that's even if I'm sleeping and you knock my head, I remember. Biko Kekime.
And
Biko Kekime.
and what's the
That's the
meaning of
only.
But
that? What's the
So
meaning of that,
I'm
Chichi?
learning the Igbo.
again,
What's the meaning of Biko Kekime?
oh, it means please, how are you doing?
Oh, I see. Okay, let me also put it on my notes. Yeah, I know how to speak some Igbo.
Yeah.
All right, so
So
guys,
we are learning. I'm learning gradually. The more I'm eating I think the ogbono that I'm not eating is what is delaying the accent,
learn
the
how to
language.
eat, learn how to eat, learn how to.
But we'll get there gradually.
Sure. Guys, thank you so much for this. We'll definitely do
Thank
this
Thank
again.
you
you.
for
I
having
really,
us.
really
Exactly.
appreciate your time. We've
Thank
spoken
you.
for 1 hour, 4 minutes. Yes.
Wow,
Wow.
Yes. 1 hour, four
just like
minutes.
few seconds ago.
And I'll be very honest with you. This is my longest interview that I have ever done
Wow.
virtually. Yes.
Wow,
Maximum 10, 15. But I mean, the way the conversation was going, there was no way we could stop. So if we have
we
to
could.
make it in series for people to enjoy, we definitely do that. And people will learn a lot of that. So
Oh, great!
thank you
Yeah,
Thank
guys. We'll
you.
and we
definitely
look
do
forward
this
to
again.
doing other ones as well in the near future. So thanks so much for having
Absolutely.
us, and we'll speak soon again. Take good care.
Sure.
Akpe.
All right, guys. So we've been speaking to Chichi and the husband, Senor, all the way from Canada. They are doing amazing. These are signs to tell you that Ghana loves Nigeria. Nigeria loves Ghana. Hate is not an option. Hate isn't something really nice for you to engage in. Please love each another. That's all that we're looking for. So guys, thank you for watching. We'll definitely meet again. We are out of here. Bye bye.
DJ Paco Rich.